How's it going, everyone? It is Wednesday, June 5th, 2024. Let's get into the video for today. I gave 2 picks yesterday. I gave Take 2 long and then Liberty short, both of which I can pronounce their actual names but not their tickers. So we're going to take a look at Take 2 right now. So first off, we like this D1 setup. We get into the gap. We had some room to the gap fill over here. Maybe stop by this old gap, but we have room to this gap fill and some really nice steady price action here. Volume was okay, not the highest volume, but I think it was skewed up maybe a little bit by some of these high volume earnings candles. Overall, though, very much like this trade today, it has produced. So when the video came out yesterday, it was probably somewhere here. Let's call it 165.60 or 70. Now it has moved up a nice $1.50. We've got a bit of a double top here, so I wouldn't mind taking profits right now with this juncture at the market. The market's made a new all-time high. I'm going to get into what I think the market outlook's going to be for the next couple of days here, but would certainly take profits on Take 2. So that has been a pretty nice win. Okay, so we're gonna move it off the list. Next one over here, LSXMA, one of these super long 5-letter tickers here. So here's a daily chart here, really nice bearish daily chart breaking down, and we got this compression break here. I think this could be the bearish channel coming into play. Lots of heavy volume as well, especially on a day where the market was gapped down and started to rally back up here. This stock just kept on going lower. Now here we have a gap up. Market starts to take off, making a new all-time high. This stock is hugging its low of the day and barely retraces back into this long red candle here. So you can see today, I mean, if you took it, even if you took it at the absolute low of the day, at perhaps the worst time, you're not taking that much heat on this position. Now, in some stocks like this, I mean, you know, there's probably going to be an end-of-day bounce. So I would wait until this end-of-day bounce and try to get it somewhere, you know, set the target for your 8 EMA here. Then you're kind of chopping around that 8 EMA, not taking a ton of heat. So I still like this pick. And when the market starts to move lower, I expect this stock to make the next leg lower, and I don't expect too much retracement over here. So we're still going to stay in Liberty. I like this pick. I think it's going to produce as soon as the market starts to stall or the market starts to move lower. We're going to get that next leg on the stock. WDC, we have a put credit spread on, so we took that on the 3rd. And right now it is actually doing pretty well, bouncing off some of this trend line, and it's challenging this high right here from April 8th, this horizontal level. Now, we don't really even need to clear it, but even the fact that it's challenging this level, the spread's already up 50% in a day, so not too bad. I'm not going to take profits here because this is doing exactly what I expect, right? We're keeping this bullish trend, so unless I can get out for close to like 90 or 95% on this stock, I'm not going to really, you know, look to exit prematurely, right? Like the way you get the edge on a put credit spread is to take advantage of the prime beam decay, really ride it out, unless your market outlook or your stock outlook changes and you have to manage the position. But right now, the position is doing exactly what we expect it to do, so we want to ride this out as long as possible. KSS, this was a broken earnings time spread. Remember, we closed this short call here for max profits, riding up that long call. Today, come up a little bit here. Hasn't been doing a whole lot. We still got another 2 days for this to move. Right now, it's trading at about 2 cents. So I think I can get it at maybe 4 cents. Take a 75% loss, move my target down. I think that's pretty doable on a next market pop. And if we don't get that, then we just take the L. So, actually close this here. So here's Liberty. It's not here's Liberty, sorry. Here's KSS. And yeah, hit some resistance right here after it pulled back to the 8 EMA. So I'd probably, yeah, that's a good thing to keep in mind, I think, for these broken time spreads. We're just trying to manage a losing trade and see if we can avoid the max loss on it. All right. So those are the open trades we're in right now. Let's take a look at what the market is doing on a D1 basis. So we are breaking out to a new all-time high. We got to see what happened on the earlier prior move. So if we take a step back, right, we get this huge reversal in November, December, January, and even February-ish. February starts to slow down a little bit. We still have some momentum into February and March. And then towards the end of March, we get this gap up and we start to slow down. We start to stall over here. We get a bearish engulfing candle off a gap up, some volatility. We reverse through 50 SMA, come back, test almost the 100 SMA, which is taking place right over here. Digest some news, form a little bit of a base, and then we start to rally up, make a marginal new high. Same thing, gap up, bearish reversal, come back down. And then this, I think, was really the difference between these two scenarios, is that this pullback was not that deep, and we held above the 50 SMA. Like, ideally, I would have loved to get this sort of pullback over here, and that tells us that the momentum is still pretty strong. So, deep retracement, new all-time high, holding this level here a little bit, pull back again, come right above that 50 SMA, and this is a huge bullish reversal with heavy volume above the 50 SMA. That was a pretty key sign for me. That's when I took some put credit spreads. And then now we're getting follow through on this move here, breaking out the new all-time high. So if you took starter longs here, you could have maybe added to that move over here, or even taken some profits over here, depending on what your market outlook is like. So now we're breaking to all-time high. You're kind of wondering, okay, how much follow through are we going to have here? And in my opinion is that we're going to continue to make these marginal new highs and start to get into this stair-step pattern, or maybe even go a little more horizontal. I'm still not really sure about these transitions from bull market to horizontal market in terms of good macro conditions, but valuations have to catch up, or earnings have to catch up to valuations, right? I've seen these bull market transitions where they go from bull to horizontal, but you have extreme macro conditions that are changing. If you look at what's happening, again, if we look at 2021 to 2022 as an example, where was this? Here was the pattern. Here's 2021, right? Where we have a very strong bull market coming into play. And then we get a deep retracement, we get a deep move up, and we start to transition into a horizontal sideways market from November to January, chopping back up and down. And then we actually end up breaking. Here's our failed breakout. No follow through. Come back over here. And then we start to get into the bear market. But here there's macro conditions that were changing, and the market was starting to price in, and buyers and sellers were fighting over that for a few months' time. So, that's one example here. Here we're coming off, and we have just these huge patchy moves to these horizontal levels here. This wide patchy bullish trend, and then we get the breakout, and then we get the move here. So very different sort of price action there as the market was changing from bearish to bullish. But I'm giving all this context to saying that because we've made a huge move already, the market's still going to move forward, but I don't think it's going to move forward at the same pace. And we've seen that this breakout to an all-time high needed a pullback before we got the second launch point. So I just don't want to be entering a bunch of long swings here. I want to wait for that pullback and then enter the next batch of long swings. That'll get me having a lot more confident in entering those swing positions. So that is a long-term bias. We're still bullish again, right? We're still making new highs. We're still making higher lows. This is good. You're just trying to really sink in your timing on the short-term swings over here. So in terms of the short-term market bias, I'm cautiously bullish right now. I'm still a 1, and I've been a 1 for most of this move, as I'm still kind of understanding how, what kind of price action I want to see that would make me more bullish. This type of dip makes me more bullish in the longer term, but I wasn't really able to capitalize on this with too many short-term swings on the long side in the short term. So I want to wait for this next pullback before I get in on some swing longs. There were some opportunities to day trade today. I think early in the day there were some opportunities. I wouldn't take any shorts right now. You want to wait for some sign of selling before you take any shorts. We could see some compression next week. There's also some unemployment report, FOMC statement, so that's going to cause some volatility as well. We could kind of go either way. I don't think the Fed is going to say anything new. If the unemployment report is strong, then it kind of just corroborates there's still a strong economy going on over here. So, my plan really to kind of put all this information into action is to continue to day trade. I'm still favoring both sides. In this case, we have a nice bullish trend, so favoring more of the long side on this move up. So day trading, taking earnings time spreads when they present themselves, and distancing myself from the action with some put credit spreads on these pullbacks. That helps me take advantage of the time premium decay, kind of just give me some cushion, some buffer. I don't need the trade to produce right away. I have some time for it to perform. And, taking some short-term swing scalps on very, very strong stocks. So I'll give an example here. So I didn't call this out, but this is one I took. I took NVAX on the 3rd, pause for the 4th, and then it moved up, and then it took profits at $21 over here. So this is a really strong stock, and I could take a nice move on that over here, but not all stocks are that strong. If you look at WDC, here's a really strong stock, but it moves in a different way, so we can capture some profit on this using a put credit spread. So now let's look into what's going on just kind of on an M30 basis. So this line is no longer relevant, and I'm going to reload this SPY chart. Okay. Couple of intraday lines. Okay. Well, so we have this move up here. Here's the start of our reversal. And then we have this upward sloping trend line here. I'm not sure where this top of the channel could be. I'd probably try to keep it parallel. So maybe here would be maybe the channel that you could draw here. So these channels help guide the shorter term price action. I'm liking the M30 chart a lot to see that kind of trend here. Here is what's happening on SPY intraday. I'm not even going to put a view app over here, but we have this gap up. So yesterday we had a bit of an LPT sort of day, digesting some of the gains, but we didn't really give back a lot of ground, which was good. Failed breakout later in the day. Today we had a gap up, and then we filled in this gap, almost filled in this gap here. We got this long red candle that ended up being a hammer on the ISM services report, which came back in expansion territory. It beat expectations, and from there we started to rally pretty strongly, made a new high of the day. And the key to these bull trend days is that we don't give a lot of ground up. That's really the key. Here, right, we test the halfway point of this candle, hold that for a couple of bars, and then we make that new high of the day pretty soon. A little bit of a test, new high of the day pretty soon, right? We follow through, we pull back here, but these are some tiny body candles, and we still test this breakout level, this high from this key bar at 1110, find support, and then we rally up again. Here we get a deeper retracement, right? 2 bars, second bar is a hammer, and then immediately we get a nice bearish engulf over here, back to where we started, and then we got the next leg of follow through. So we're seeing just lots of steady buying. This is a very, very bullish scenario. and you can ride longs that are performing pretty much the whole day here. Now, the caveat is that we had a couple of levels to break through. We had 531.50 that we had to break through. We had the all-time high that we had to break through at 533. At 534 was actually the pre-market all-time high of 5 that came before the NVIDIA earnings on May 22nd. So how much relevance you want to put into that, that's something you have to decide for yourself. I'm just telling you that level exists, and it's currently providing a little bit of resistance. But it's just been a steady climber, right? We get a foothold, move up higher, establish a foothold, move up higher. So these little footholds are kind of how this bullish trend moves. So what trades should we take here, right? We know we're making new all-time high. We're not expecting anything too major, right? I'm not expecting a huge amount of follow through. Maybe an overnight swing could work really well. I think day trading could work pretty well. There's not any earnings time spreads I'm really in love with today. Lulu's okay, but if it exceeds 20% of the time, I'd rather have a longer difference. And then NIO is just too low cost. So not a lot of opportunities you want to get in here. I'm going to highlight a couple of picks that I like on the long side, and I think this could set up nicely for a short-term swing scalp. So the first one that I really like here is ISRG. Excellent breakout today. It was just compressing the rest of the day. It looks like it had to digest a lot of the gains. But so far, this is the bearish cycle on the stock, and it has held up very, very well. So I think that if we can make a new high of the day, it sets up very, very well to take this trade into the stock. We do have this 10TL trend line coming. Wow, this is a long time, all the way back from here. Could provide some resistance. So I'm still sort of evaluating how much weight I want to put into these high plus trend lines. Let me see if I put in a balance chart, how that looks. Okay, so if I put a balanced trend line here, that's coming up a little bit higher. I like this balanced trend line a little bit more. I think I'm going to weight this one a little bit more than the other 10TL trend line. So we got a nice amount of room to that. I like ISRG. PLTR into the gap here. Really excellent risk reward. I'm in a half position of this myself. And if it market closes above this high, PLTR closes close to the high of the day, I'm going to add to that position. ARM, nice breakdown through this trend line. If I draw this here, it's actually right at that trend line, and that seemed to have provided some resistance over here. So it's looking good. This is a pretty nice grinding price action here. If it can break out to that trend line, I think there's a nice opportunity to get in on some nice swing long, depending on how the market is setting up. Certainly seems to be some resistance over here. A little bit, some candles coming into play here. So a little bit of short-term resistance. Just marking some of these levels. Very choppy stock, this ARM guy. So I like to mark these high volume candles and just kind of see, okay, there's a lot of activity at these levels. All right, so it could be a little bit of a stopping point. But in general, I think ARM is pretty nice. TSM, excellent breakout today. Really like this breakout. It just made a pretty big move. It may have some time to digest the move. But yeah, pulling back from its... yeah, this is a really nice entry point here. Pulling back, tested this breakout level here, found support, grinding up higher. Room to the high of the day. Yeah, TSM is beautiful. This could be my pick. AMAT's got to clear that. Sweet green, pretty nice as well. Let's see if it could hold this breakout. Yeah, so breaking out of this compression here. And if we zoom in a little bit, We see that this is the horizontal level, so I want to break that compression, come back in for the retest, and then we get a new high. So I'm going to create a bull M5 LRSI cross, so we get that pullback, and then we bounce off it. That gives me a lot of confidence to take some a long position on this. So a couple of things on the short side, on the long side here. I'm between ISRG, PLTR, and now we're really going to see which is the best. ISRG, PLTR, TSM, and Sweet Green. So what I'm going to do first to differentiate which one I should pick is kind of look at the risk reward here. So this is obviously one candle here. Let's look at, this was the prior relative high. So I want to see if it broke through and came back for the retest of this level. So that's what happened. Broke through, retested, came back up again, broke through, retested. So I'm liking TSM. Very bullish chart. Pretty strong trend. Kind of just getting a sense of the structure of this trade. We have this channel here. This could be the other channel. It's hard to draw it super wide. Looks like that's a little bit too narrow. I'm gonna draw a very similar line here. Yeah, so that is our trend line. Yeah, so it looks like maybe the channel is somewhere like this. Seems like that could be pretty plausible, so you got some room until there. This may take a while to perform though, and you'd have to have your stop at this 160 level. But if that holds, yeah, that could be the pick. Semis are nice. This has been just a really nice, steady move higher. And it's actually tested that level and really confirmed above it. ISRG could be pretty good. Now you notice that this is a far choppier stock than TSM. TSM is a little bit patchy, but it does tend to have a trend. ISRG breaking out over this trend. And there's, you can see that there's a major resistance level here. Came up over through here. Really hugged it very tightly. I would expect some follow through on here. And you have a pretty clear stop here around 403. Got room till there. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with TSM. I'm just liking the price action a little bit better on TSM. So that's probably going to be my long pick here. I would do probably an overnight swing. A CDS I think could work really well. So you could do overnight swing, or you could do shares if you want. I haven't really been focusing on CDSs as much. I've just been focusing on day trading. So I'm not really going to give any CDS picks until I master my day trading, get it down consistently, and then I start to focus on call debit spreads. But I'll take a swing long here, and then probably look to take a quick overnight swing. So be very nimble with this. Either it confirms or doesn't confirm, or you wait for, or you size it so you're able to withstand a pullback and then get the next leg higher. So that's how I would play TSM. Be very nimble or very patient, because I think, again, we're closer to the end of the move. So we want to make sure to incorporate that in our market plans. So I'm going to add that to our picks, and we'll take a look at how these open positions did. So to recap here, we're going to have TSM long. We have our workday PCS, which is open. Not workday, sorry, WDC PDS, and then we have our Liberty short. So overall, we're slightly balanced to the bullish side, but we're just taking advantage of very strong and very weak stocks in a mildly bullish market macro environment here. and then selling into strength. So more of some swing scalping that I did so much of back in November, December, January, February, and March. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for listening. A bit of a longer video today, but quite a bit of scenarios that could happen here. And I just want to be cognizant where we are in the move. Are we close to the beginning or the end of the move? And because of that, that helps me bias how much duration I want to give my trades and how much breathing room I want to give my trades. All right, I will see you all in tomorrow's video.